This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's talk about some fan questions here. Joshua wants to know, what was Vince and most of Creative's reaction to Roman getting booed all the time? Arn, this comes up because we hear, supposedly, allegedly, according to the rumor and innuendo, whatever disclaimer we want to put here, that Vince would say things like, or had the attitude of, God damn it, they don't know what they want to see. I know what they want to see. Now, that might not be accurate, but you were there. What were they saying as an excuse whenever Roman's getting booed every time? And at home, we could even hear the crowd being turned down. So like they come out with a thunderous boo, Kevin Dunn or somebody's riding that knob and is like, yeah, let's turn that down a little bit. And they continued the course instead of doing something different. What rationale are we hearing from the chairman about that?
The 100% faith in himself that he can make any idea that he has a reality and everyone will accept it. That Roman Reigns was going to be the lead guy as a baby face for the company. Instead of seeing way back when, years before that, that's not what they want Roman to be. Roman doesn't have to say anything. All Roman has to do is come through the curtain and be a ass kicking machine. They don't want him to be a nice guy. They don't want him to be clever. They don't want him to be entertaining. And they certainly don't want to see him spear 5 or 6 heels at a given time. One of the things that I did learn from Vince is early on is don't shove a baby face down the people's necks if they're not going to accept it, because they'll regurgitate it.
Right.
And we got away from that theory and we quit listening to our audience, because they will absolutely tell you what they want. And when you quit listening to them, you know, I used Kevin Owens as an example. You know, when he beat Cena, his first, you know, on the first show that he was on, the audience was 90% behind Kevin Owens.
Right.
That week, Creative should have been sat down with, guys, I don't care what you got written down for the next week or month or 2 months. This guy's a babyface. Next week doesn't mean we change his style of work. It just means that we put him in a position to be the favorite in the match. And you change everything that you had, because it was so crystal clear that was what they wanted. Give it to them. And with Roman, we just kept doing, you know, the fact that Roman goes out there and spears 5 guys does not make Roman more of a babyface. It makes him a god, and he's not earning his position or his push or however you want to call it. He's just out there running through guys, and the audience smells it and they don't like it.
I was at this show in the crowd, and when the next match started, I hit the road. It's your main event. It's Roman Reigns versus Triple H. They go 27 minutes and 10 seconds. It's a cool entrance from Hunter. I wanted to see that entrance. And once I did, I was hitting the aisle trying to beat the traffic and get back to civilization, because even though people say, oh, this is in Dallas. No, it's not. It's quite a cab ride to get back to Dallas from this stadium. Roman Reigns gets the win though. 27 minutes, 10 seconds. They're using Stephanie here as well. Meltzer would say Reigns went to spear Triple H, who moved, and he laid out Stephanie to a big pop. She took it great. Triple H then hits the pedigree, but Reigns kicks out. Reigns hits the Superman punch, goes for a second one, but Triple H hits him with a high knee for a near fall. Stephanie, who had rolled to the floor, then hands Triple H a sledgehammer. Triple H goes to use it, but Reigns beat him twice to the punch with a Superman punch. Then Triple H went to use the sledgehammer, and Reigns ducked it and hit the spear. 3 1/4 stars. So we're a year late. You know, you go back to WrestleMania 30, and we wanted to make sure that CM Punk talks about the Royal Rumble from 2014. We need Roman to look strong. That's in January of 2014. We try to crown him at WrestleMania 2015, but we know the audience has turned on him. So we have Seth do a cash in. We create an unbelievable WrestleMania moment at 31 in 2015. And now here in 2016, finally, it's the crowning achievement that they were looking for. Roman Reigns is now the mantle holder. He's your world champion. But as a fan in the crowd, I knew what was coming and didn't think I had to see it. So I beat the traffic. Meltzer gave it 3.25 stars. What'd you think? Was this just the wrong placement on the card? Was it not the right positioning for Roman? Did fans not want to see Triple H here? What could we have done better with a main event here in 2016?
Well, I'm sure Stephanie took the bump of the match.
Yep.
And she's a pro. When she's on, she's the top heel in the business. I mean, she's a great heel. Did you happen to look at your watch when you were walking out of there?
No.
And did you have a rough estimate of how long you'd been in your seat?
Well, I knew that it was going to be a mofo to get in. So I was across the street at a tailgate, just watching the traffic. And when I saw it start to dissipate, then I went over. So I missed the first couple of matches because I knew people were just, I knew the show had started, but people are still standing outside waiting to get in. Well, I didn't want to stand around like an asshole. So I think I saw the Usos Dudleys first.
So it was a 7-hour show.
Yeah. I think we even have a question here from Brad. He says the main card at this year's WrestleMania stretched to nearly 5 hours plus 2 hours of the kickoff show. What was the internal reaction from the agents, producers, and the like when the word came out that the show was going to be so long?
Exhaustion, mental exhaustion. I don't care who you are. Fans cannot stay interested that long. It's just more is not better in all cases. It just isn't. And I'm sorry. It's just not. Getting back to that main event, I knew it would be a good wrestling match, but after 6.5 hours or 4.5 hours of the regular show, whatever the time was when they went to the ring, to go 30 minutes. And I heard from other people that people were piling out of there. 5 minutes into the match, people were filing out, people that I trust that were leaving, like you were. They were filing out of their seats or out of the stadium, which is not the talent's fault. It's just too late in the show. It was a predictable finish. They had already fought how many times on TV, right? At least gotten together for a scuffle.
Yeah, of course, a lot.
All those negatives that you don't want to have, have already happened. And I just think people were exhausted. The end result was what they said it was, and they did not want Roman to be the babyface. That all got killed when he was doing his famous promos along the way. Suffering succotash didn't help, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's all in hindsight. We need to have somebody write a book on this about what happened, how it happened, what could have been done better. You watch the show back, and we talked about it, that it was mostly thumbs down from the fans. After we broke it down at all, or the entire show today, do you have any regrets about the way it went? Is there one thing that sticks out more than anything else where you're saying, man, if this would have been different, then the show overall would have been received better? Is it just the length of the show? Is it the main event? Is there one thing you could fix and change people's opinion?
Don't think so. I think you had some matches that they weren't totally invested in, but I think it was too long. I think, which is always the big match that has some mystery to it, is the World Heavyweight Championship. And I don't think that mystery was not there. I think there was just a lot of bits and pieces along the way. I guarantee you nothing that the talent were doing in that ring. They were, every single one of them, because it's WrestleMania night, they're busting their ass. So it wasn't about that. It was just about the fact that it was too long. There were too many matches put in there that you weren't invested in. I don't know how you would have fixed it other than to cut it, probably the main show, at least an hour and a half.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.